Shooting the Shiznit would like to thank these sponsors.
This month by spunklube.com. Spunk Lube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. Spunk Lube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. The newest addition to the Spunk Lube family is Spunk Lube Pink. The pink formula is colorful and fun to use. It's a special hybrid formula that's non-sticky and non-staining. All of their products are shipped in discreet packaging from D Enterprises. Please go to spunklube.com and order a unique, fun-to-use personal lubricant.
We can vape if we want to. We can leave cigarettes behind. Cause our friends all vape, and if they don't vape, then they're no friends of mine.
Yeah. Vista Vapors. Visit them today at tinyurl.com/STSvape. You can get 1 bottle of juice for 1 penny. That's tinyurl.com/STSvape. Vista Vapors.
You can leave cigarettes behind.
American Hostile Championship Wrestling presents Fall Brawl 2018 on October 6th in Kennet, Missouri. Doors open at 6, bell time 7:30. Event will be held at the American Legion Building, 1615 1st Street. Featuring WWE Hall of Famer Coco Beware, Memphis wrestling icon Bill Superstar Dundee, All-In sensation Marco Stunt, along with stars such as Austin Lane, Missouri Bad Boys, Naughty by Nature Rude. That's October the 6th, 2018, Kennet, Missouri, 1615 1st Street, the American Legion Building. Doors open at 6, bell time 7:30. Be there.
Have you listened to last week's episode, the week before, or all the episodes? By the way, all of them are at www.stspod.club and all of the fine podcast players. Now on with the show.
Lock the gate!
Are we doing this? Really? Wait for it. Are we doing this? Wait for it. Pow! What the fuck?
WTF.
And it's also, what the fuck? What's wrong with me? It's time for WTF. What the fuck? Okay, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers? What the fuck buddies? What the fucking ears? What the fuck nicks? What the fuckericans? What the fucking avians? What the fucking ucks? Whatever you want to call yourselves, whatever the fuck it is. This is WTF. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, we're live from STS Studios, and I stole Mark Maron's theme song again, Lance. I know I'm a thief. So I may. Oh, yeah, I don't even have that one, but I appreciate you doing that for the news.
I can do it all night.
So I stole Mark Maron again. I'm gonna eventually record an original, maybe when I get off my lazy ass. But first of all, we're live from STS Studios in St. Louis, as I said, and we're live from where?
Of course, in Chicago, we're from the Frosted Mini Wheats with a touch of fruit in the middle studios.
Damn, those things are good, man. I can't believe you got all them free samples.
That is the longest product name I can think of. So we have the WTF News Desk for September 2018.
Oh, yeah, let's get started, man. No BS. Let's go to number 10. It's always my favorite thing here. I let you always find this, and I love it.
Hold on. We got a couple honorable mentions.
Oh, okay. Come on.
We got to get these in. Nick Diaz. The charges were dropped against Nick Diaz.
Oh, God.
Month, so somehow I don't think that's the last we'll hear of his name on the What the Fuck News Desk. But anyway, and also I thought it was kind of weird that Glow got Emmy nominations and Emmy wins. So for like a wrestling-based, wrestling-related show, they had 10 Emmy nominations and they actually won 2 Emmys. So that's pretty cool for a wrestling show.
And we just mentioned Mark Maron's on that. I haven't actually watched Glow, believe it or not. I got Netflix and a huge Netflix binger, but have not watched it. But I have a lot of people outside of the wrestling business or outside of wrestling fandom even that absolutely say, have you seen that? That's awesome.
Yeah,
and so that's the cool thing about it. It really crossed over. It didn't. It's not only the wrestling fans watch it; it's everyone watching the show. So.
Yeah, and really well liked. So anyway,
very
all
much
right.
so.
So to the official WTF news for September. So at number 10, our honorary, of course, where we always start is our stipulation matches of the month. So it comes to us again from Big Japan. Seems like Big Japan dominates this category.
Oh yeah,
So
very much
on
so.
September 16th from the Yokohama Bunka Gym, and I'm getting all the bad pronunciation of names out of the way early on this one. So this was an entire card of crazy matches. So we started off with a glass board death match. It was Masaya Takahashi and Kiyo Magami over Takayuki Uki, which I just like saying that. Takayuki
Uki. Yeah, I like that too.
Yoshiyuki Sakuda. So that was the first match. Then on the same card, we had a fluorescent light tubes death match. It was Abdullah Kobayashi, who I always thought that was the little Japanese kid that ate the hot dogs on New Year's Day.
It's not?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Abdullah
okay.
Kobayashi and Yoshihisha, which is not Yoshihashi. It's somebody else, apparently. Yoshihisha Uto over Yuko Miyamoto and Isami Kodaka. So, and then finally, in our main event on this card, this is crazy. That wasn't the main event. We had a deathmatch heavyweight title defense. It was a 300 fluorescent tubes, light tubes deathmatch, and it was Masashi Takeda retaining the title over Ryuji Ito. So there you go. So that is our crazy stipulation, not only match, but deathmatch card from Big Japan for September.
Man, I'll let you do that. I'll let you announce all the names.
Oh my God, reading the names. Abdullah Kobayashi. So it must have been after all the hot dogs.
You know, I used to have. I had a doctor. His name was Abdullah Sarad. Abdullah Sarad listens to this. I know he does, but he was one of my doctors. Of many doctors I had, and I get pissed off and change doctors. But he was really nice, and so I asked him. I said, Abdullah, I said, where are you originally from? And he stares me right in the eyes and says,
"The Sudan. It's got to be the Sudan."
No, get this, Portland, Oregon. So his family was not from Portland, but he was. And then I said, there's a professional wrestler. His name is Abdullah the Butcher. And he looks at me. He has this dry sense of humor. He goes, that wouldn't be a good name for a surgeon. Mm-hmm. And that's true. That's true. You're right. But yeah, Abdullah was my doctor for a long time. That was really fun. So, all right, number 9.
I thought you were going to say you were seen by Dr. Wagner Jr. too. That would be.
Oh, that would have been good too. Yeah.
All right. So at number 9, the crazy names continue with sumo wrestler involved in a car accident scandal. Sumo wrestler Osunarashi Kintaro. So he was the first Egyptian sumo, and he lost a decision to Bob Sapp on September 30th in that Rizin, that MMA.
They drew huge numbers. Yeah.
And they do all kinds of gimmick matches and stuff in Japan. So he lost to Bob Sapp and in what was described as a terrible match. But the reason he went into MMA is because Osunarashi Kintaro was kicked out of sumo in March because he was driving. And so apparently in Japan, sumos aren't allowed to drive. They're supposed to not be able to drive. So I guess it's the law or something. So anyhow, sumo, which hates, like the sumo organization in Japan, also hates scandal. So in this, he was in a car accident. Not only was he driving, but he had no license. And then he lied and claimed that his wife was driving when they had video of him the the driver. So
that's what I love. It's the surveillance camera photo. It's actually that photo. Can you just imagine this big fat guy in a little bitty car, and he goes, I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
I wasn't driving. It was my wife.
I figured the fact that they won't allow sumos to drive in Japan would be racist. I figured you would claim racism there.
It probably is racist, but yeah.
It's probably racist. So the scandal of the no sumos driving in Japan. So he lost the match to Bob Sapp on September 30th. So, all right, at number 8.
Hold on. All I can think about is him, this big fat guy in this little car with the blonde wig trying to pretend he's his wife, and that's the picture that was taken.
Wasn't that a Chris Farley bit? Fat guy in a little car or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Fat guy in a
all right.
Something like that. All right, so at number 8, we have the Ronda Rousey merchandise clothing line that'll be coming out. They trademarked Rowdy Wear.
Oh,
Rowdy
yeah.
Wear. WWE and Ronda, Raisin Rousey, or whatever her name is, they have applied for a patent and a trademark for Rowdy Wear. So they're going to be releasing, Piper logo inspired stuff like the shorts and the shirts and T-shirts and everything, and apparel line T-shirts. So my guess is that this is going to be clothing that will be designed so that you have to constantly tug on the shorts and tug on the tops. Because that's all she ever fucking does when she's in the ring. And don't get me wrong, I like what she's done in the ring. I do. I will come around. I don't like her as a human being. I think she's a piece of shit. But
since you spent so much time with her, so that's the reason why you think she's
of course. So, but in the ring, her clothing, the gear that she wears is terrible. And so
horrible.
I was thinking about this. I'm like, I guess this would be the gear that she wears to the ring would be stuff that like girls would buy, women would buy that stuff because it's very practical and useful. You wouldn't find like Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss gear on shelves, in stores that women would actually buy, unless like, sexy women wanted to look good. But like the Ronda stuff, they would buy it because it's shit that they could wear to the gym and stuff, I guess, So I cracked up at the irony of her coming out with a clothing line because she's constantly fucking with her shorts. And speaking of Abdullah the Butcher earlier, her shorts are fucking up to her Adam's apple, so it's like it always reminds me of Abdullah the Butcher's trunks because her shorts come all the way up and then she's constantly fucking with them and stuff. So I don't even understand why this would come out as a clothing line.
I seen a meme where she took off her shirt, for Monday night, and underneath it was the same shirt. So I just thought that was so cool. And then when you start talking about she has her own line of clothing and all I can think of is like Rebel and these other women who were, they wear these suits and they wrestle in and they're all sweaty, and it's just lingerie, and then they sell them on eBay. So they're classy. They really are classy women, especially that works for TNA. Rebel is one of the classiest ever. I do wish
to get Rebel's name on every show.
I do. I wish I would have went up to her at All In, but I was kind of nervous. So
that's right. She was there. She didn't really make a dent in me. So
she didn't mean either. Really, like that's the truth. Yeah.
So all right, at number 7, we have to tone it down a little bit. So we have a tribute to the fallen wrestler Rei from Japan, a Japanese woman wrestler Rei who lost her battle with cancer. Obviously not a wacky news story, but I wanted to bring it up because she worked from 2003 to 2016. She actually did work some Shimmer shows, which unfortunately it was before I started going to Shimmer. But the reason we bring up Rei, we want to pay tribute to Rei because in 2012, she helped stop a man on a crowded train in Japan who was, quote, doing lewd things. So all I can think of is this guy was like whacking off on a train somewhere publicly.
Actually, he was. Rei had noticed he was stroking his genitals. That's what he was doing in a fucking crowded train.
So Rei grabbed him, puts him in a wrist lock, and throws him off the train into the arms of police who are waiting for him. So Rei became my hero when I found out this story in her obituary. So I say, well done, Rei. And sorry that, unfortunately, she passed away in September.
Yeah, and we're looking at, someone that battled. She found out she had cancer in December of 2015, so she put up a really good fight. It's one of those things. My dad died of cancer. A lot of family members very close to me, the cancer is, and I have this joke with one of my best friends ever. If you find out I've got cancer, just shoot me, But I really, that's the way I feel because it's a horrible disease, guys,
yeah,
and to think that she battled it that long. But just an awesome story. I love that You said it, but I have to say it again. Grab the man in a wrist lock. I absolutely love that. It's just like, you're with me. I wish I could have met her and shook her hand and said, "Man, that's awesome." Because you can stroke your genitals, guys, but not on a train. God,
probably not on a train is probably not a good thing.
No,
or in
not
any form of public transportation. Try to keep your Spunk Lube activities in the privacy of your own home. That's all I got to say.
There we go.
So, working the sponsors in there. All right, so at number 6, we have, of course, the infamous Michael Hayes dress code from September of 2018. This took place, everybody has seen the pictures at this point, so this took place at the Ric Flair wedding or commitment ceremony or whatever the hell they call them in 2018. Whatever it is that is avoiding him paying more alimony to somebody else because he's probably broke as it is. So at the Ric Flair and Wendy Barlow commitment ceremony, Michael Hayes shows up in his pink pimp outfit. And I'm not referencing the Pimp Daddy in New Japan either. So he's got this pink pimp outfit on with a fanny pack the size of a fucking grocery bag. And it's just the most bizarre looking, out of touch wardrobe choice in 2018 that Michael P.S. Hayes, purely sexy Hayes, I guess. So I was trying to think, back in the day when they all had the fanny packs, back in the day it was probably full of what? Like condoms, pain pills, coke, So now, what the fuck is Michael Hayes keeping in a fanny pack that's that size? So I'm assuming Metamucil, X-Lax, Tums, maybe mothballs. I don't know. So, and I thought he looked like Country Bear Jamboree, like when you see those animatronic bears from
yeah,
Disney World.
They did. Yeah,
that's what Michael Hayes' face looks like, is the Country Bear Jamboree. So, imagine that visual.
We actually captioned it. There were some funny captions, but I like mine the best. I was like, "What was Sonny doing at the wedding?"
Or Greg the Hammer Valentine, either way.
Yeah, Greg the Hammer Valentine. What I think is the funniest thing, you got the Undertaker standing there. He's got one of these, I don't know where he got that shirt at, but it's kind of like the guy that always dresses wrong, he tries to dress up, but he can't dress up. It's kind of like, I do that a lot. And then you got Michael P.S. Hayes standing there, who, like you said, is so out of touch of what the fuck you're supposed to wear. Apparently he dresses like that all the time, so no one was surprised but us. But then you got Hurricane Helms. All I can say is, Hurricane, you know how to dress to go to a fucking wedding. So you got all my respect. The other two have no idea.
He was the only one. He was the only one dressed relatively normal.
Oh, God. And then we got other... Go ahead.
He looked like something out of Goodfellas, if I remember right.
Yeah.
He looked like something out of The Godfather, like a mafioso outfit.
And I hate to say this, but I seen him dressed up again for something else on his Twitter, and he was wearing the same suit. So apparently he knows how to dress, but he only has one suit. So
he only knows how to dress one way. But
all right, guys.
Like you said, he looked the most normal out of all those guys.
He did. I was like, I showed the picture to the wife, and I said, okay, play the old Sesame Street thing. Which one of these don't belong? And she's like, wow. She said, Hurricane's dressed normal. And I just cracked up. I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Right after the commercial break, me and Lance, I'm going to give Lance just a couple-minute break. We're going to talk to Mark Southern for just a minute, and then me and Lance are going to come back.
Shiznit is sponsored by SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. Spunk Lube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. This month, by just retweeting an episode, you will be entered to win a month's supply of Spunk Lube, an all-in Shooting the Shiznit shirt, and an all-in poster.
Hey, have you used that app Uber Eats?
No, I haven't.
Man, it's pretty awesome. Uber's famous for, taking over the cab industry. So it looks like now they're taking over the food delivery industry.
Really?
Yeah, what you can do is you can download the app and you can order from tons of places. I actually ordered from McDonald's today, got a 20-piece McNugget delivered to my house.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it's awesome. The big thing is that you can put in a code that I provide for you, and you'll get $5 off your first order.
$5? Wow.
Yes, a whole $5. It's Eats, EATS dash Brian T 24790UE. That's Eats dash Brian, BRIANT 24790UE. Put that code in, you get $5 off.
That's awesome. I'm so excited.
All right, guys, download the app, put in the code, and save $5 on Uber Eats.
American Hostile Championship Wrestling presents Fall Brawl 2018 on October 6th in Kennett, Missouri. Doors open at 6, bell time 7:30. Event will be held at the American Legion Building, 1615 1st Street. Featuring WWE Hall of Famer Coco Beware, Memphis wrestling icon Bill Superstar Dundee, All-In sensation Marco Stunt, along with stars such as Austin Lane, Missouri Bad Boys, Naughty by Nature Rude. That's October the 6th, 2018, Kennett, Missouri, 1615 1st Street, the American Legion Building. Doors open at 6, bell time 7:30. Be there.
All right, man, we got a lot of good reviews from this week's show earlier on Tuesday. I even had a few people say, BT's over there shilling, doing a commercial for Mark Southern. Who gives a shit, man? Me and Mark's been friends forever, and I just wanted to talk about, real quick, we did the commercial for you and everything, but I want you to remind everybody, how much is it going to be? What night? It's Saturday night, guys, and Mark, you stole my phrase, but I stole it from someone also. But I want to tell you guys 2 words. Be there! That's right, Saturday night. So tell us all the details, the prices, and everything.
All right, once again, we're going to present Fall Brawl in Kennett, Missouri. That's going to be on October the 6th. We got a meet and greet that starts at 6 with Coco Beware, the WWE Hall of Famer. And then we also got Memphis wrestling icon Bill Superstar Dundee. We got the Russian Wrecking Norman Mikoloff. And we got myself, Missouri Bad Boy Mark Southern. Then we got the internet superstar Marco Stunt. And we got Austin Lane, along with Jason Fury Vaughn, a woman's match, and the LA Hustlers will also be in the house, along with Naughty by Nature Rude. So a good lineup. That's Fall Brawl again, October the 6th, Kennett, Missouri. Bell time, 7:30. Be there.
That's right. Be there, guys. Hey, if you go to the show and you heard about it right here on Shoot the Shiznit, I want you to go up to Mark Southern and shake his hand. If he's not healing on you, you know. I mean, this is kind of an insider podcast, but if he tells you to get the hell away from him, then you know he's doing a good job. So, Mark, good luck Saturday night, and I look forward to seeing what happened, and also look forward to the other shows coming later this year.
All right, man, BT, I appreciate everything you've done and helping me, man. I look forward to seeing all those fans in Kennett, Missouri. And once again, you can check out our Facebook page at American Hostile Championship Wrestling. It'll have all the details on there for you.
Hey, we're back. Thanks, Lance, for letting me talk to Mark there a couple minutes. Before we get on, I always talk about Rebel, you know, but the reason I was not paying attention to Rebel during the All-In convention was because of Billy Gunn. I just want to say that. Did I tell the bit? I did tell the Billy Gunn.
You did tell the numerous Billy Gunn stories. That
okay, the one where I walked into the bathroom and I just turned right around. I was like, there is no way in hell that I'm going to use the bathroom next to the urinal to Billy Gunn. There's just no way in hell. So
there's no way.
All right. Here we go. Number 5.
Number 5 is the story from All In, the planned storyline that didn't happen, which I thought was a pretty interesting story. So we got a couple Meltzer stories in a row here. So at number 5, Meltzer was supposed to be the 10,000th ticket purchased for All In. So the plan was that they were going to put the tickets on sale, and they figured, they'd sell a good amount on the first day, and it would trickle out, and they would sell more throughout the course of the month or so, a couple months after they went on sale. And then when they neared the 10,000 mark of tickets sold, the storyline was going to be that Meltzer was symbolically going to be the 10,000th ticket sold at the the box office. So I thought that was actually pretty creative along the lines with all the stuff that they do, for the being the elite and everything else that they do. So it's always very creative and very put a lot of thought into it. So obviously that got blown away, and that plan wasn't able to come to fruition because they sold out the entire show in 30 minutes. But I thought it was a really cute, creative storyline that Meltzer, who the whole thing started as a dare, as a challenge, as a, Meltzer making that statement online that they couldn't sell 10,000. So I thought it was actually a really well thought out thing that couldn't come to fruition because the tickets sold out so quickly, legitimately.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's one of those, we talked about, Phoenix and other stories we put on here. It's not just What the Puck. It's like kind of a feel-good thing where because Meltzer was part of the whole challenge and then all of a sudden the big thing, reason it didn't happen even makes it cooler because they sold out 10,000. But yeah, I thought it was really neat. I thought it was fun that he actually told the story, was able to tell people about it after the fact, but I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought really creative. And it would have been cool to have video of him going to the box office and buying that ticket. But obviously they sold over 11,000 altogether to get in the building. So anyway, all right. At number 4, we have the story of Eric Bischoff calling Meltzer a molester. And so I am completely unfamiliar with this story. So we're going to send it to the field to our intrepid reporter, Brian Trammell, to report on the Bischoff calling Meltzer a molester story.
It's Trammell.
No, I thought it was Trammell.
Man,
Damn it. God. Can't keep up.
Here's the deal, and this has kind of been shut up real quick. It happened for about 4 or 5 days. They have a video. Someone made a meme, or I don't know. I think it's more than a meme. It was like maybe a minute video or a little bit longer of Meltzer laughing, and while he's laughing, his tongue's coming out. All right, I know there's some weirdos in the world that just wants to pick on people and do strange shit, and I get a laugh out of, I kind of laughed at that, that's weird, but but here Bischoff, it's mentioned to Bischoff, he says on his podcast with Conrad that made him look like a molester. Ugh. Now Bischoff went on to say he was just kidding, but hey. I was listening to that podcast, and that totally turned me off. Just the thought that you got a guy like Eric Bischoff who would even say anything like, you can not like somebody, but you can't just say, oh, he looks like a molester. Mm-hmm. You can't say shit like that. Would he say that to somebody like, I don't know, Hulk's his friend, but anyone like that, you just don't do that. And he made it like it wasn't a big deal. Conrad kind of quietened down, and it seemed like, that he acted like he was just joking. But, hey, it wasn't funny to me, and I know Conrad and Eric Bischoff's making plenty of money, and just one little guy like me not listening to the podcast doesn't matter, but they lost a listener with that. That was just stupid.
So did they edit it out, or it just didn't get much play?
No, it was not edited out. It was then that's one thing too. Post-production you can edit out. Right. There's things that I might talk about. We've had guests before, and after I sat down, even for the past couple of weeks, I've took stuff out just because it was maybe not what we should have been talking about.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but you know what I think of Bischoff and Pritchard for that matter. Like, they're just going to continue to make stupid names for themselves by throwing a legitimate journalist under the bus. So to me, those guys are both pieces of crap. So I'm not going to continue on about it because I could do a whole podcast about Bischoff and Pritchard. So anyway, calling Meltzer a molester, classic. All right, at number 3, I want some fucking recognition for this one, because at number 3 we have the Eva Marie has a podcast. So as somebody once said, the apocalypse is now here because Eva Marie has a podcast. So I want some credit for this, because in order to do research for this episode, I listened to a fucking whole episode of the Eva Marie podcast, which was, I don't mind telling you, 75 minutes of my life that I felt like putting a gun in my mouth. So now you said you tried to listen to it, right?
Well, I'm all about you can do what you want to in podcasting, and I hate someone to say, what are those 3 guys sitting there talking about video games where there's only 10 people listening, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. If you got 10 people listening, have fun. If someone's doing a podcast. But this, number 1, this is not anything that I would listen to. Right. But they said dope I think in the first 10 minutes they said the word dope 100 times. It was just god awful. Her two co-hosts were just. They had a salty and sweet. Is that what the salty and sweet segment? It was bad, y'all.
We must have tried. Well, I think how far did you get into it? Like 15 minutes before you couldn't take anymore?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. So I went an hour and 50, an entire fucking episode I listened to for you people, so I can explain it to you people, so that you'll never have to listen to it. So I did 75 minutes of this crap for my craft. So it was a different episode that we must have listened to. So for mine, it was basically two Valley girls talking about fucking makeup. And her zero of a husband, Jonathan, who basically is just saying, yeah, yeah, the whole time. So that guy's voice, I mean, we always talk about guys who have good voices. Like we say Joe Feeney has a good voice for podcasting. This guy's voice is like Radio Somonex, just fucking puts you to sleep. So these two girls, Eva Marie and whoever this other broad was, they can't pronounce the word channel. This also drives me crazy. They kept on saying channel. And I'm like, what the it's channel! It's not channel, you idiots! So I don't understand who this is fucking for. Who is this geared towards? It's certainly not geared towards wrestling fans. The only thing I can think is maybe other vacuous, idiotic 20-something women who want to listen to a podcast about fucking makeup and shit. So the one thing I'll say is that she was very comfortable talking on the microphone. She was pretty smooth.
I thought so too, yeah.
It was boring as shit. It was so boring, but it was just, she was comfortable. So if I could say anything positive about the whole thing, it was the fact that she was pretty comfortable, but it was just boring subject matter.
Lance, did you say comfortable?
A few times. And it was her birthday. This episode was her birthday, which you talked about, things that they said a million times. She said it was her birthday about 75 times throughout the whole 75 minutes. So
dope. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah. It was like two Valley girls talking back and forth about makeup and stuff. So anyway, what I couldn't figure out is Dunkin' Donuts is a sponsor of that podcast. I love Dunkin' Donuts. I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I love Dunkin' Donuts sandwiches. I love all of it. And that's legit. That is a shoot, wrestling fans. So we need Dunkin' Donuts to sponsor us. If they'll sponsor fucking Eva Marie, they need to sponsor us. So, and then the one line that she said that I have to report back on is she said that she is a pioneer in WWE.
She was a pioneer. So
in what? Pioneer in what? Jesus Christ! What a misinformed level of self-worth that this woman has. So anyway, number 3, the Eva Marie podcast. Well, please don't listen to it. At number 2,
well, wait. If we're listening, if somebody's listening to it that wants to hear about makeup. And that kind of stuff, then go ahead. But don't listen to it if you're a wrestling fan. Don't,
all right,
please,
I will clarify my statement. If you are wanting to listen to podcasts about makeup, have at it. But there's got to be even 10,000 podcasts about makeup that are better than that one. So I mean, just the Eva Marie one has got to be the shits on every level. So all right. At number 2, we have the John Jones USADA charade that occurred in September. So John Jones, the arbitration panel has reduced the steroid suspension of John Jones from a possible 4 years to, lo and behold, drum roll please, 15 months, which he's already served. So he can fight as soon as this month, basically. So it's just such a debacle. The guy is such a piece of shit. Between the DUIs, the bag of money that was found in the car that he had the accident and he ran away from the car, the broads in the car, the cocaine test failures, just everything about the guy, the low testosterone results at one point. You got this guy who's a piece of shit. You got Daniel Cormier, who's a fucking role model, and he gets booed, and I don't understand it. Jones gets tested once last year, and Cormier got tested like 87 times. It's just such a ridiculous double standard, the way they look the other way on John Jones. So the funniest part about the whole test thing was that the panel said he's clean, so we're going to go with that.
Yep. He said it, Lance. Come on now. Why would
I'm
John?
Clean, and I'm not covering anything up. So
That's right.
They bought it. They took that statement at face value. It's the biggest charade I've ever seen in drug testing.
Meltzer did a really good job with this. It's covered the story. Excellent story. This goes along with almost every freaking month we come up with something about USC, and it's always something underhanded, corrupt. One of these days, they're going to have a documentary or they're going to write a book that shows us everything that this organization's doing. And I don't, I'm not saying I know any other thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if some of the matchups were actually works too. I never thought that, but there's so much corruption goes on, and it's just it's glossed over a lot. I mean, they're beating their wives, they're doing drugs, they're it sounds like the fucking Cowboys in the 1980s and 90s, and they're getting away with it, and that's just what John Jones did. He got away with it. He'll fight again because he's worth it. It's all about the money. So.
Yep, exactly. They're just going to look the other way because they want to get him back in the octagon again. So, all right. And I have to make mention before we get to number one, our number one weird news story of the month, that we did not have a boob story this month. So this marks one of the first months since we started What the Fuck News. There was not a boob story. So anyway, at number one, of course, we have Brie Bella knocking out Liv Morgan and the fallout from the occurrence. So it was September 24th at Raw. Brie, of course, everybody knows this by this point. Brie kicks Liv Morgan in the face twice, gives her a concussion, and nobody stops the match. Brie drags her by the fucking neck to the corner to tag out. And, this is okay. This is, in the heat of the moment, obviously shit happens. But anyway, so the problem is Brie has never been a great wrestler, and she's been nothing but reckless on her return. So between those dives that about a month ago, those dives out of the ring that just were pathetic, and then this, it was just such a bizarre reaction to it because her defenders blew up, the Bella army blew up, and was coming against people that were criticizing her. I think if anything, people cut her slack because she's married to Brian and everybody loves Brian. So it's not like we love Liv Morgan. It's not like, oh my God, how dare you, you kicked Liv Morgan. It's not like we're big fans of hers, but it's like Brie just sucks. And everything since she's returned has been terrible. So you can't criticize Brie without being accused of being, sexist or whatever. I'm like, the bottom line for me is if Brie was a great wrestler, like an AJ or Tanahashi or Omega, she would get some slack. But she's not getting any slack because she sucks. That's the bottom line for me.
Well, in a way, the thing that when you kick somebody in the face, this shit happens. I mean, I've hit people and broke nose. I broke a guy's nose one night, which that was his fault, not mine. But shit happens. It really does. What bothered me the most is the way when she did it, they didn't stop the match. I didn't understand that. That's the part that bothered me. It didn't bother me that she kicked. Well, she kicked her in her face, but that's the part that they just drug her around and all. I mean, what the fuck were they thinking? And here's what got me. I was kind of the guy that every time an accident like this happens, whether it be Seth Rollins that does it, Brie, whether it be anyone, I'm the guy that always says it's fucking wrestling.
Yep,
shit happens. Yep. And I don't think it's the same thing as saying that, that we try to break people's necks, wrestlers do, blah, blah, blah. I mean, same thing with Stone Cold got his neck broke by one of the most safest guys in the world. But here's what got me pissed is that Brie kind of made it like everyone on the internet was bullying her.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You're not the one that we should be feeling sorry for. It's don't Morgan. Say shit like that. I was on her side because some wrestler, I can't remember who said this. Oh, I do now. Bully Ray said that. Let me tell you what happened to me. I hit the Undertaker with a chair. He pulled me to the side. He said, look, if you want to, that's when they first started WWE. If you want to get far in this business, you don't do shit like that anymore. Do you understand? You understand. What probably happened that Monday night was, oh, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. Oh, I'm sorry I hit you, blah, blah, blah. And all should have been fine. But when you kick somebody in the face, you don't get on the internet and tell everyone they're bullies for getting mad at you. You don't do that. You keep being apologetic. And that shows you, I mean, I hate to say this. It's not one of my favorite words, but she's a cunt, okay? Let's just say it. That's just what she is. If she's doing it that way, that's the way I feel. And I don't care who she's married to. I hate it for Daniel Bryan, and I've got friends that marry cunts. So it just happens, you know?
I think it would be different if there was some goodwill towards her, but there's so much animosity towards the Bellas. They're so annoying. They're so obnoxious. You know, if they were great wrestlers, I think that people would have cut her a lot more slack than they did.
Yeah, maybe so, but it's just the idea that it happens, and then to try to make you you're the scapegoat. These people won't leave me alone.
Exactly. Yeah, you kicked another girl in the head twice, and then you've done all these other reckless things since you've been back. So what I would love to see, and I know obviously this isn't going to happen, but just I would love to see Liv Morgan be like, you know, tweet like, yeah, fuck that bitch. You know, I just want to see Liv Morgan, rather than have to toe the company line, I just want to see like, yeah, fuck that bitch. I'm not wrestling her again. She's reckless. Fucking whore. You know, or whatever, anything, you know. But you know that's not going to happen. But anyway,
well, it kind of gives you the importance of her, though. The importance of the Bellas, that they can do shit like that and get away with it, too. Yeah. So that's one of those other things that I just...
let her retire and take care of Birdie B and Birdie and that ugly kid of theirs, and go back and let Brian do the wrestling. Let Brian wear the pants in the family, Brie.
Oh, God. Yeah, I called her a cunt, and you said let her wear pants. Man, we're sexist bastards tonight.
Bad.
All right, go ahead. End it here.
The WTF news for September 2018, folks.
All right, guys.
Oh, wait.
What now?
I had a premature. I love my alpaca.
Oh, don't get premature. We use when you do use Spunk Lube, though. You can
Spunk Lube.
It can make you. It can make you premature.
Nuggets, for Christ's sake! I'm all excited. I'm all jacked up over here.
All right, guys. Same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And I love my mama.
And I love alpacas, as I said. The spoiler alert.
It doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't, but it's there's a couple A's in it. Three A's.
Thank you for joining us. Another great episode of Shooting the Shiznit. That's right. Always we're looking for contestants for Who Wants to Be the Best Shiznitter Ever. Reminder, we have merch.com. Shirts at $12.99 and sizes up to 6XL. A big shout out to our sponsor, spunklube.com, for providing our shirts for All In and sponsoring the show this month. We do have Patreon. You can go to Shooting the Shiznit. We're looking for 10, that's right, 10 people to be Patreons, and then we'll start putting up some material up there. A big shout out and a thank you to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets, Gene Jackson at localstolegends.com, Sean Garmer at Wrestling to Max website, and also Wrestling News Center. You can reach me at Comic Book Mark BT on Twitter, at BT Shooting the Shiznit. Facebook, you'll find the Shooting the Shiznit page, and also the Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. You can listen to all the archives at stspod.club, or we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, did I say Spreaker, Stitcher, and all the other podcast players. A shout out to Creative Control. That's right, Creative Control with JoJo. He's also on Keeping It 100, some of my favorite podcasts, and my buddy P3 Radio with Max. That's right. 2 non-wrestling podcasts. That's Who's Right Podcast and Po Boys Podcast. Check them out. Thank you, and good night.